Jeff Campbell is here, Riverdale Superintendent. Good to have you in the studio, my friend.
Yeah, you bet, Phil. Good to be back. Good to see you back. So this was we're rolling in through the summer.
Isn't that something? We were just talking about you last night, Jeff, and Ken Feed, who's a historian, he was going through some old Muscadet progressives and writing up some things, and there we were back in the Riverdale football season of the year 2000.
Oh, boy.
And there's a picture of you right there in the progressive.
Well, there we go.
You haven't changed a bit.
Oh, yeah, just a few extra pounds, but that's it.
That was a great team. You were the quarterback on that team, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a great team. A lot of great memories from that, and that's kind of what high school athletics is get those memories with your friends that you have the opportunity to participate in.
And that was the year 2000. So you made it, to the third or fourth level? Third level. Yeah. The farthest of Riverdale is gone, and it was, just a great group of guys that kind of built up through. Had to start when we were sophomores, a lot of us did, and kind of go through the ropes, and then see that hard work pay off in the end. But, a lot of depth, a lot of numbers at that time to make a run like that. Well, we can dovetail that into the current football team. You've been having a camp this week, haven't you?
Yeah, they start the camp this week. Halfway through the camp, they've got 3 good days of working. Numbers look pretty solid for a camp, when you're not in school or really haven't started the season yet. But the kids are working hard. They had to go indoors this morning. They did morning practice this morning, but with the rain, we're indoors, but they were working there. They're split up in the gym and the facilities we have. We got plenty of room for those kind of opportunities, so they were able to not miss a beat, and then they'll finish up with a workout Thursday evening and then Friday morning, and then they'll take a week off before the real thing kicks in.
Mom and Dad can take them on a vacation next week then, right?
It is a big vacation time, and that's one of the reasons they do the Friday morning workout, because the next week is the WIA Dead Week, and everybody likes to get away during that week because it's kind of consistent week off every year for the sports.
Some exciting news for the Riverdale District over the summer here. Your ag program, and we've always known that they're great, but now other people are recognizing that.
Yeah, sure is. Calico. We continue to talk about our ag program and the things that, the opportunities we provide. The kids are up here. They've been on your morning show a number of times, done a number of things here up at the station. And we knew we were one of the district reps within the state of Wisconsin, one of the 10 programs that was selected. And, we just had to wait for that announcement for that number 1 ranking. And we knew we had a good shot. The things that she put together that we kind of put out as recognition on our Facebook page, you'll kind of see those things. It's just a little bit of the tip of the iceberg of the things she's done. And this was the recognition that's well-deserved, I think, for Callie, who spearheads it, and then all the families within our community that are active in our ag program at school. A lot of people volunteer their places, their time, their equipment, just to make sure that the kids are given a good opportunity. And our community really supported us with that referendum a couple years ago to be able to put on that ag edition, and that has just kind of taken our program to the next level. Obviously, with this recognition now, and we can have the live animals coming in, and just more room for her to work and to do her classes. So it's kind of a state-of-the-art building. We've had a couple districts come down and take a look at it, to tour it, to get ideas. And we can't say enough of what she's done for the program, what all the people have that contribute behind her.
Do you get some hardware for an award like that? Yeah,
we get a plaque. We're gonna get a banner ordered. We're gonna have that stuff, and we're gonna recognize this ag program, for what it is and what it will continue to do. I think this is just the tip. It's great to get recognition. She doesn't do it for the recognition, but it's always nice to get that recognition when you have put this much time in. We're moving forward out on our school farm. Hopefully, in time, we'll be able to have water there. We're kind of in a project with the village right now with one of their developments of getting water out to that facility, and so that will even take off and kind of add an extra component to that part and some things they can do out there. But right now it's there's a lot of things sometimes you got to try to slow her down a little bit. She just wants to do so much, but she's doing a great job. They'll prepare here with with fair season coming up, kind of kicked off already, and they'll have a number of kids participate in that, so that's kind of their focus right now.
The last time that you brought kids here from the FFA, I think you and Callie were here, but I was impressed by the number that would like to go back to either the family farm or get into farming for a career. That's very impressive.
Yeah, it is really impressive. And the thing she did start a couple years ago and now has kind of handed it off to some people is the FFA alumni program. And that's something that she's built a strong enough base now where they're kind of taking that and they're supporting too. They give a scholarship every year, and it's allows those people that are coming back or have been part of our program. We have, individuals within that program that were graduated back in the 70s, with the school when the school farm was really getting going and things like that. It's kind of neat to listen to some of their stories about it, at our ag committee meetings. But yeah, it is. It's nice to see we've had a strong group of kids that have been recognized by the FFA, and then they've stuck around. Just the graduating class from about 2 years ago. Number of them that have just stuck around are finishing up degrees at Southwest Tech and are pretty vital in our ag program and always willing to lend a helping hand to come back and do that.
Can you give us an update on your elementary programs?
Yeah, so I talked about a little bit about this last time. Our elementary and our junior high were selected as high impact schools, which means we're doing a great job with achievement with our students and really moving them forward in achievement and even facing some high obstacles, along the way. As far as we have a high free and reduced lunch rate, but that is an obstacle that we are able to work with the kids and avoid as kind of something that we can remove and make them progress forward. So yeah, both of those schools were high impact schools. And so, within the last year, we've had all three of our schools recognized for some type of recognition, with our high school being a top 20% high school. So our staff has really done a tremendous job of just kind of putting the kids first. And when you do that, the relationships build, and then, these great things happen and kids learn and they feel comfortable and safe at school.
Some of that, going back to some of the GPAs improving and, reading levels and things like that helping out too?
Yeah, they sure are. I think the change in the reading program has been at the elementary level. The state push has it added a little bit to our, the plates of our staff in that, definitely. But I think it was something that needs to be looked at, or something that needed to be looked at. And I think this progressed it forward. The programming that's going in that we're using, that our staff has piloted, they have talked about it as being one of the most influential programs that they've had, some of my veteran teachers. And, in education, a lot of things kind of circle through. You'll be like, oh, here's another program that's going to go through. This is the new thing. But this has had some profound impact on our kids, and we've seen it early on already with the piloting we've done, and the whole elementary staff will go to this really great reading here this next year, and it helps. And I think reading is the number one thing in school. It's such a, some of us, I think, take it for granted. We're able to catch on, we're able to do that. But when you work with struggling readers, even up into the middle school level, it can be very frustrating at that time. So to catch it early on and to teach them methods and ways to learn to read and learn to read effectively is making a big difference as the kids progress through the middle school and the high school, makes them feel better within it. And within those school settings, and nobody wants to see a kid struggle reading, and we've done phenomenal job with Lynn Terrell. Our reading specialist done a great job leading us in this training for our staff.
Yeah, you embrace all of the technology and everything moving forward, but it always goes back to the basics too, and reading is certainly number one, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. It will continue. That'll be one of our continuation of kind of goals this year, is to make sure we're continuing to reach that for all of our students.
The mentoring program, how's that been going for your college and career program?
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to pick it up again this year. Sarah Pleckelman will be running that, our elementary principal, but she's working with an area school district to help with their college and career program. So DPI has asked us again to take part in this. Just a nice little thing that they kind of recognize what we're doing at the district, and then allowing somebody within our staff to go kind of work with another district, because, and really in education, it's like, people think, well, it's a competition to get kids and all that, but really we're working together. We're working together to try to raise the level of education in all of our districts. So anytime we can help and collaborate with each other, it really helps to bring out the best within all the students in the area. So we're really proud to be able to do that, and it sounds like the other district that she's working with is making some great gains, and really appreciating the time she's been working with them.
You've had summer school this year. I think you've got another session coming up, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We just started that on Monday. So the buildings had been a little quiet there for just I would say a week or two. We were in there, and and then now it's summer school session 2. We've got an outdoor education adventure theme going. So we've got a couple local individuals that work within the Department of Natural Resources or area things with outdoor adventure that will come in and kind of do some things with our kids. So each day there's kind of an assembly type presentation, and there might be a special presentation some days where the kids go out, maybe do some fishing, maybe do some tree identifying. But it's also kind of a jump start for some of our kids to just get a jump start on the school year. And, just to kind of get back in that routine, we'll go until about August, and then the second week in August or so, and then they'll have about 2-3 weeks off, and then we'll pick up right with school. So hoping to try to avoid that summer slide that kind of comes with the summer, but otherwise it's been a good start. The other thing we have is we have our 4K. This is a big week for our 4K students. Both of our 4K teachers are in, and each kid has like a week that they get to come in and get to know the room and the routine and the teachers. And then at the end of that week, we'll bring in another group. And so we do that for 3 weeks. So each group gets a week, and it just even puts them in a smaller setting and just gets them to understand what school kind of is going to be about, so that they're not walking in on the first day like, who are these people? What's this room? And that's well attended and has always been something that's been popular within our district.
So they get the taste of school, probably not riding the buses yet or anything like that.
No,
right?
no. Well, some do. Some can, yeah, some can. We do provide transportation at pickup and drop-off points. A lot of them are brought in at that age. But, we provide transportation and pickup and drop-off points in Avoca and Blue River and Muscadet. And it's not your door-to-door service like it is during the regular school year, but something for kids to be able to get in and get home and enjoy those 3 hours.
Exciting for those future chieftains, I'm sure.
You bet. You bet.
What about registration? Getting into that won't be down the road too far, will it?
Yeah, we this is about our 3rd or 4th year, I think, full year we've gone to online registration. So beginning on August 4th, we will open up our registration portal on Skyward, and parents can go in using their login and get their students registered. One thing that's important to note is every year you have to register your student. So I know even if you've been in the district and they're a senior and you need to register them again this year, and with it, we've seen a spike in that, and not an issue with the paper one. We had a lot of people that wouldn't register on time, but online people are able to go on. They're getting used to the system, but they're always welcome to call the district offices starting on August 4th if they're having issues, or if you need to come in. We've got computers and directions set up in the schools, so if you want to do it there with some help, we're there to help you out. So the online registration, it's a little bit quicker, and I think more convenient for people, and then we don't necessarily have an in-person registration day, but new families are always welcome to set up tours with their building principal or office staff anytime they would want.
A lot of info that goes into that online thing, or how does it work?
It does, yeah. There's a lot of info behind the scenes. The office staff puts all of this together into our Skyward system, and there's all the forms are there, so you're electronically signing everything. So it's a lot. This year we actually went to our athletic forms this year on there, which has been I just did that the other day for my kids, and it was very slick, very easy to do, and save a lot of time, save a trip coming into the school and having to drop things off, and our office staff is able to just process it electronically and have it on file. So we're trying to move away from that paper trail of things and do more and more electronic. All of our communication is pretty much sent electronically now. Through our Skyward system through email, since everybody has an email to register their child, or we do it through our Facebook accounts or our other social media platforms.
Greg Kinney stopped by the studio this week talking about the Riverdale Foundation, the community golf outing coming up, and I believe he said they had one more spot for a team.
Yeah, I can imagine. I know he's usually pretty close to a sellout every year. He doesn't have to put it out there very much, but that's good to hear. Yeah, if he's down to only a spot left, it's always a great great day. It's always a great opportunity for people to get out and golf, and just even your just one time a year golfers. Those are always good things too. So yeah, anything to support the foundation. They do a great job giving back to our school district. I've mentioned that a number of times when we've been in here and talked about different fundraisers that they have, but they got a nice variety of fundraisers, a little bit for anybody and everybody to participate in throughout the year. So it should be, hopefully we just got to hope the weather holds up, which it usually does, and people have a nice day golfing and a lot of nice prizes and things they can get.
That will be August 2nd.
August 2nd, yep, at the Fenimore Country Club up there.
Do you partake in the golfing then, do you?
I try to usually. A lot of times that falls on my vacation week, so with the dead week of that. But this year it will. I'll be on vacation, but I always try to contribute something to them. But yeah, otherwise my golf game's not great, so I'm not going to help any team anyway. So
you missed that 1 year of golf, once a year golf.
That's pretty much what I am.
That's the way I've usually been. Anything new for the upcoming year you'd like to talk about, Jeff?
Yeah, we do. We got a number of things this year. I've been on a couple times, talked about our strategic planning process. We're kind of we're looking at rebranding the district. So we're coming out with some different ways that we're going to communicate with our staff, the way that we're going to the stuff's going to look. So it's a little more consistent. So when you see Riverdale, you're like, oh, that's the Riverdale emblem. That's how they go. That's their mission statement. That's their vision. We've got a lot of great ideas, and I think that was part of the start of the strategic planning process. But it also was to kind of get everybody on the same page and say, hey, this is some goals we have set to achieve this year, and some goals we want to see 5 years from now, what we want to see Riverdale look like. So it was more of a rebranding process, and I feel like we've got a good start to that, and we'll roll that out to the staff. I've already rolled it out to the school board. They've started to see some of the changes and things we've done. We're going to do some things around the school too that you'll notice a little bit different with that, and just kind of a way to recognize when you walk into Riverdale, like, yep, they kind of recognize that as that's what Riverdale is. Our 4K changes, we've got those 2 sections this year, and we're directing a lot of that to more of a prep for kindergarten, like we've talked about with the reading and everything that's really thrown in at starting at kindergarten. We want to prep those kids for kindergarten, and that we've done that by adding a section, another teacher to our 4K. So before it was like the students were half-time with Mrs. Drone in more of an academic setting, and then more of a play setting in the other half of the day, and then they would flip-flop. This way they're going to follow more of a schedule that they would kind of like in the kindergarten area. So you'll have a little bit of playtime, you'll be, and then academics, and then a little bit of play. So it's not going to be strictly like kindergarten, but it's going to be a way to kind of prep them as the year goes, so they're kind of ready to roll and used to that when they get into kindergarten, what it's going to look like. And we've got two individuals that will do a great job down there in 4K. We're pretty excited about it, and just the process that's going to make for our district. We've added some things in our junior high school. Actually, one other thing I should mention, district-wide, we made a change with our attendance this year, coming up to kind of get back with the state statute. Before we had it that it was 10 days that kids were excused per semester, and the state statute says 10 a year that parents can excuse their kids. So we have made that adjustment now. It's going to be 10 days per year, just like the state statute, like a lot of area school districts have. So that'll be a change, but we noticed that 10 days a semester can add up pretty quickly. And so you're like looking at 20 days a year, and then there's other days you might be out being, medically sick. It's like, okay, now you're missing a lot of school, and attendance is important. And we've seen a drop in our attendance rate, and nationwide they have. So we're trying something a little bit new to get people, there more often with that. Other than that, we've added a little bit with our junior high school as far as curriculum. We've got a couple different things that we're doing with that, a couple different offerings that we haven't in the past, but there were some minor changes that way. And 4-6, we've done something a little bit different this year where instead of kind of having an individual teacher in 4th grade now, you're going to move from kind of class to class to be course specific, so that teachers are kind of a little bit more teaching their content area. So we're going to try that out this year because we got a big class moving through, so it's always a rotating staff member, that'd move along with them. So we're going to try a schedule out a little bit different so that we can kind of keep those people in an area of for a period of time, and we're looking forward to it. People are excited about it a little bit, and we'll see. We'll make adjustments as we go.
When you say a big class, what are the numbers like when you talk?
Yeah, we're talking. I mean, when we get it, we got a class of about 60 kids, 62. That's a large class for us. So that gets really difficult in the elementary level to keep a class like that as a 3 sections, or 2 sections. That's a lot of kids. So they were split into 3 and sometimes 4 sections to keep those numbers around 15 to 18 that you really want within those classes. So we're looking at now that class is moving up into the into 5th grade and that. So you got to look at, okay, how can we make changes besides just moving a teacher every year with them and not really getting you get that continuity, but the person always is learning a new curriculum every year. So most of our classes are in that mid 40 range to 50, but there's always often we've got one other elementary class right now that's in that almost 60 range. So.
That's very good. What are the numbers like for the 4Kers coming in?
Right now, I think we're around 35, it looks like, but that was just when we went ahead and did our 4K screening, but we always get a lot more that come and register. We usually roughly we look at gaining 10 plus from the 4K. So we'll probably be up in that 40 range by the time we're all said and done with everything.
What about new staff? Anybody you'd like to focus on?
Yeah, we've got 5 new staff members. Maybe we'll get them in here at some point. We've got a new elementary music teacher, Ella Furstenberg. Micah Thingvold's doing junior high school math. He'd be a name a lot of people would recognize being a Riverdale graduate. Margaret Emerson, she'll be working in our spec ed department, in our lower elementary spec ed. Brittany Penfield will be working on our 4K. I mentioned that a number of times. Her and Mrs. Drone will be the 2 teachers there. And then Jordan Cradwell, another Riverdale graduate that she did a lot of long-term subbing for us last year and actually filled in as a music teacher last year. So she is going to be in the classroom this year as a kind of 4 or 5 teacher in that area that I talked about a little bit with some structuring that we're doing.
That's a good combination, and we talked about it when Kurt Thompson was here. He talked about he had a premonition that he might see you as back in Riverdale teaching someday, and and that's great when they can come back and give back.
It sure is. Yeah, we always appreciate that, and I think now with you're spending so much time trying to build your own teachers and build your own staff with some lower numbers in the education departments that you see a student that leaves here, that goes into education, you'd love to have them back. They got a pride for the district. They want to stay there and want to put in that extra effort that's necessary.
Awesome to see those people staying in education, because we know in the private sector there's more money can be offered and benefits and things like that. I think obviously it's a rewarding occupation to get into. You got to love it, don't you?
Oh yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. It's the rewards that you have of working with kids every day and watching them develop and turn into young adults and then to adults, and then watching them raise their own families and feel a sense of pride that you got them off in the right foot in the right direction. So it's a rewarding occupation. There's nothing like it. There's no 2 days that are the same. That's, I think, what I like the most about it is every day you come in, there's something different thrown at you, and you just kind of got to go with it. But we got a great team of people. The other thing is our turnover rate was minimal this year, and when we had that high, volume of turnover last year with administration, sometimes after a year you'll see that, but we return about, I think it was around 93% of our staff, and that's everything. Bus drivers, custodians, everything. We had quite a few retirements this year too, so that tells you that the people that are choosing to stay are they're making the choice to stay, and we're really proud of them for that, and we appreciate everything they do every day at Riverdale.
Well, it won't be long. We're getting those camps going. We're getting the football and cross country and volleyball will be back before too long.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we've met with our admin team and have a real great plan for this year. Sent out our in-service schedule yesterday. I got that out to all the staff. So I think right now you kind of start to think like your mind's really turning that direction now. And we'll get through this. We hit August. Registration starts. It's full go from there.
You and I were talking before I went on the air about the new plan for wrestling by the WIAA. Anything stick out on that you like?
Yeah, I think it's nice now that they divided the 3 divisions equally. There's no more, there's going to be the same amount of qualifiers at the state tournament. There's same amount of sectionals, everything. All the coaches are on the same page now. And why that is a big deal, because to really get any changes made through the WIA, you need the Coaches Association support to start anything. I don't know, a lot of people don't understand there's so many levels that changes have to pass through before it even gets to that final board of control to say yes or no. And so if your Coaches Association has a huge support for an idea or something they want changed, that's the first step. And once you have that, a lot of times the board of control will be like, yep, it's made it through all these stages, all these coaches supported, then that's a change we need to make. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm excited about we actually will have more qualifiers total in the state, down at the state tournament. And then the last thing is it's going to provide more teams the team state experience. Everybody gets 8 teams now, at the state tournament. And you're going to, now the divisions are a little different. So some teams got moved around, and there's going to be some teams wrestling in divisions that have never been there before in those areas, which is going to make things interesting. It's going to broaden your range of teams that will be coming into you that you might not see much during the year. And now you're going to compete in the tournament, and then the team aspect of it has its own separate weekend now, and you'll get your qualifiers, and there's a possibility of a wild card even if you're second in the qualifiers. So a lot of neat components into it, and Mel Dow at the WIA with Jason Loloff, the head of the Coach Association, have done a great job working together to get changes and proposals sent through that will be best for the sport.
Those of us in the media are still trying to comprehend it all, and put it into motion. And my first thought when they went to it, for people that don't know, so they've gone away from regional, sectionals, and state.
Yes.
The normal steps that used to be. It's just I don't even know if they're calling it a sectional, are they?
I think it's a section. I don't know the exact wording for it, but yeah, it's like a qualifier. It's a sectional weekend. That's it. You got, I think, could have up to, I think D3 might have 16, 17 teams. You have a 16-man bracket, top 2 go to state, and then the other ones might be a little bit lower, but the reason why D3 has a few more teams, they tried to split them evenly, but they put a few more in D3 because of the performance factor. So a lot of the teams that, are moving up, they're moving up into the other divisions, so it only seems fair to put a few extra down there because nobody's necessarily moving up into Division 3 to, based off doing really well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's another change, and as always, it'll be competitive.
Right. Well, those of us, the old timers like to remember the way it used to be, but you have to adapt to change, and if it's good for the sport, that's what it's all about.
That is.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're good progressive people that are looking long term. And it does open up some opportunities for some other ideas that I think they have coming down the road of hopefully getting to that 16 kids at the state tournament, but a little change, little by little, to see how it goes, and then you make adjustments year to year.
Does it concern you now, as a former wrestler and a coach? That's the only thing that I saw is, like, let's say you're an individual, your team doesn't make it. So you qualify for state, but you've got to wait 2 weeks before you wrestle.
You do.
Does that concern you a little bit or not?
It could, but it also, it does a little bit, but it also could help you with injuries.
Oh, sure.
Too, if you're waiting to heal up. It was a quick turnaround. You wrestle that tough sectional Saturday. You're wrapping back around. You're wrestling, a win or go home match on that Thursday night, what it used to be. Now they give you 2, but it's like, so it can work both ways. There could be some pros and cons to that. And, the other thing is some of our team sectionals in the past, you would get through the regional, and then some teams wouldn't hardly even bring anybody on those Tuesday nights because they're resting their kids for sectionals. So this kind of alleviates that middle of the week thing and doing that stuff, hopefully. But I think the more rest some kids can have, the better moving in the state tournament, so you're fresher and ready to go.
And is it true it's like the old-fashioned sectional where you lose the first round, you're done?
Yeah, it's going to be that. That's the best way they could do it. But then after that, they'll wrestle back to 8th, I believe, for T points, or at least 6th, if not 8th for team points, because it'll matter for the teams that want to advance. And it's going to be the top 6 out of each sectional advance to the team portion the following weekend, and then they'll wrestle that bracket out, and top 7, or there'll be 7 champions, and then there's going to be a wild card based off a seeding process they have. So you could finish second, get that wild card, and the main thing is they want to get those best 8 teams down to the team state tournament.
Good. Well, thanks for the tutorial.
Hey, you bet. Anytime.
I need the education. So always good to talk to you, Jeff.
You bet. Thanks a lot, Phil.
Next time we talk, you'll be kind of getting in motion with a lot of things at Riverdale.
I think so. I think I want to bring administrative team probably along. We'll start to get some guests along and kind of have them talk a little bit about the district and things that are going on, and give kind of an update on each of our buildings in our spec ed department, and just they can kind of preview some of those new things that we got going on into this school year.
Look forward to it.
You bet. Sounds great. Thanks, Phil.